Welcome to the Write Your Own Story podcast. I'm your host, Betsy and Lea, and the founder of the Write Your Own Story company. Girl, I can tell you right now, you are definitely enough. Here we value service, sisterhood, connection, laughter, and that super genuine, keep it real, tell you like it is honesty. My hope is at the end of each episode, you realize you can do whatever it is you dream about and that you are not alone with what you struggle with. I'm hoping that you are snapping and clapping and hell yes in your way through each one of these episodes. So if this tracks with you, let's get started. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Write Your Own Story podcast. I am your host, Betsy Leonidas, and I am so excited to be here with Lea Lachey.
I am so excited to be here.
Ooh,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I love all the pink and I love the room and everything. I feel at home.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I don't know how we are going to keep this to a reasonable amount of time.
I don't either.
We are not.
We have a lot to talk about.
We have so much to talk about,
Yeah.
and both of us have the gift of gab.
Yes. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Oh my God. Okay. So I like to start off every show by setting an intention. So Lea Lachey is a director, producer, choreographer, everything of her, of the amazing show Labelless here in Cincinnati and well beyond, which we will dive into.
Yeah.
But I've seen the show 3 times, so I'm a super fan.
You are a super fan.
Thank you. I would like a sticker on my sticker chart. But what time number 3, what really stuck with me was like, not only do we, we'll get into this so much more, but the show is all around this concept of the labels that we put on people in society and the reverb effect of that.
Absolutely.
But what I was thinking in reflection was that, and what I'm learning in these conversations is that women apply so many labels to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where we get stuck.
Yeah.
So I really want the intention of this episode to talk about all things labelless and how that applies to life, but most importantly, to encourage women to be brave enough to put down their labels and to truly live labelless.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I think that it's detrimental.
Totally.
Right?
Yes.
And it stunts your growth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty of it too. I think we all are. And
Absolutely.
I think the show brings light to that. Right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
That's how I got to this. I mean, literally time number 3. You know how it's like when you're listening to a podcast or a song or the lyrics and you've heard it a lot. And then all of a sudden you're like, it's a new perspective every time.
Yeah.
And that's like such a gift of art, in my opinion.
Well, I think what's cool about the show is you can see it multiple times and be at different stages in your life.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, totally.
And something's going to resonate more with you than the last time you saw it.
So true.
I mean,
So
I have my oldest is, leaving for college.
Oh, where are the tissues?
Where are the tissues? So there's, certain things that just get me, lyrics and pieces, monologues in the show that are just like, this is life.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster and you have to embrace each other and be there for each other. And so I think each time I've been working on it for 6.5 years. And Drew and I both say that it'll hit us at different times in the rehearsal process. And then when we get into the theater with a new cast member or new members to the creative team, and all of a sudden you're like, there it is. It's the core of why the show exists. Right?
Yes. I have full body goosebumps again.
Oh.
I texted you the other day. I was like, why do we even bother to shape my legs?
I know. Literally, I love that. I
like,
shared that with you.
Yes. I'm an open book.
No, I thought it was hysterical. It was good.
Like, why do I even bother? Damn it. I got goosebumps 400 times.
I love that.
Could take those 2 minutes back.
Yeah.
But I like the show and the message is so important. And I'm so grateful for you because I know you are in the thick of it right now. And also the chaos of summer being a mom.
All of it.
I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
I also love to just kind of like, before we get into like the real meat of it is, I just like to, I was always trying and say how I know the guest.
Oh.
And I feel like everyone in Cincinnati has been like, you two need to meet. You two need to meet.
I know. Isn't that funny?
Yes. And so when I like posted on social that you were coming, everyone was like, finally. Or like,
oh my God, you guys are going to be best friends now.
I was like, it's official.
Yeah.
We're getting sweatshirts.
Yeah. Instant connection.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So
thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. So I feel like this is our moment. This is where it
all happens.
Yes.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay.
Everyone can see it. It's literally
it's documented.
It's documented. It's time stamped.
I love it.
But I also would love for you to just, everyone knows who you are, but to give just a quick bio rundown.
Do they know who I am?
If they don't, they don't know.
They will.
Yes. But seriously, if you could just give a quick bio, no pressure.
Oh my gosh.
Don't mess up.
I'm I'm like, you're going to be quizzed later on your own life. Born and raised in Cincinnati. Went to the School for Creative and Performing Arts. I always give credit where credit is due. Without that school, it's a wonderful public school. There's no way that my parents would have been able to afford the training at that level.
Yeah.
I graduated full scholarship to Marymount Manhattan College dance scholarship.
Amazing.
Moved to New York. And as the story goes, I may have not followed directions, which is very much me.
I love it. Same girl, same.
And I went to an audition and we were told, you can't go to auditions yet. Went to an audition for Radio City.
Not just any audition.
No. Yeah. It was a good one to start with. I said, let's just start here.
You're like, I'll start here.
and honestly, it was just to kind of like get my feet wet and see, how far I would get. I made it through a few rounds. And that was that. And I was really super proud. And the next week, back in the day when we had answering machines, I came home and one of my roommates said, there's a message on the machine for you.
I love that.
And I was like, what? He said, Radio City called. And I said, it's not funny. Like, don't do that.
Don't mess with my heart.
And so long story short, they called me in. I had a friend that took a photo of me. I didn't even have money for like headshots.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I didn't have any of that. So I had this one picture and I went to the drugstore and like blew it up before the audition.
I love it.
Anyway, it was in point shoes. The person that they needed to recast had to do point work. And because, as the story goes, I got it. And
yes, you did.
I nailed the audition. And then, so I worked for them and I did a lot of theater and I did video work and bounced kind of back and forth from New York and LA. And then got bold at different parts of my career that I still kind of look back on and go, I cannot believe I did that.
I love that.
And then, I've work-wise done a lot of really cool things.
Yeah,
movies and all that. But I think that to be an authentic artist, choreographer, director, you also have to live your life. And I think sometimes, because I can get on this topic about educating young artists.
Ooh,
and one of the biggest things that I see is I'm like, be a person, experience your life. You don't need to constantly, be in the studio all the time. Yeah. Yes, you have to train. And yes, you have to, do all the steps that are needed in order to get to where you want to go. But you also have to be fuller in your life.
Yes.
And I think that that's why I'm like, I know we're going to bounce all over, but that's why I'm so proud of the Labelless cast.
Yeah.
And, we're pretty strategic in who we bring in and to the project because I want them to be people. They're insanely talented, but I like to see people on stage because I think then the audience relates to that.
Oh, the relatability from the talent was just through the roof.
They're insane.
That's why you hold on to literally every word. And how many times off camera was like, and I quote.
I just think there's something about that just resonates. So as I'm choreographing, and I say this quite often to the cast, I'm like, right there, it has to breathe.
Ooh, yeah.
It has to breathe. The stage has to breathe and work together. And I often say, I want this movement to be pedestrian. Yeah. I don't want it to be,
Totally.
So I feel like that's the audience is like, oh, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway,
but like when you strip away, like, and you make it more pedestrian, like it just all of a sudden you feel like you could be on the stage as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's so freaking good.
Yeah.
I recently turned my basement into a home gym, literally all from Amazon, and I could not be more obsessed. I got an elliptical that I actually love, a reformer that I'm obsessed with and is saving my life, and all my decor that makes it not just a home gym, but feel bougie. I mean, we're talking wallpaper accent walls and a chandelier without breaking the bank. Now I have space where me and my 4 kids can all work out together. I love Amazon because I furnish or style my home in a way that feels like such a reflection of me without having to break the bank. If you're like me and get a little bit sad, okay, maybe more than a little bit sad, when there's no package at the door, then you are my people. Also, I think we need help. But until then, visit amazon.com/shop/write your own story, or even better, click the link in the show notes and shop all my favorite finds in fashion, beauty, home decor, organization, and more. From my cart to yours, these are the treasures you don't want to miss. Okay, we're gonna get into more of your career. I'm not letting you.
You're not letting me off.
I'm not letting you off that easily. You're like, on this one time I danced for the Rockettes and I like choreographed a few things and I like danced in a couple of movies. We're gonna get into it. So good try.
Okay. All right.
Yes. But most importantly, before I just get so excited and take you on 1,000 tangents.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I love this.
Awesome.
Good. I love real talk.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. Truly. Yeah. Making this podcast has been the ride of a lifetime, and it just keeps getting better. And I'm so fortunate to have such amazing company on this couch that like I have these moments all the time where I'm like, how did I get so lucky to be surrounded by these amazing women?
It's real connection,
right? Which is what we all crave.
Everybody needs that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put down your phones.
Yes.
I mean, we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it too. But put down your phone, look at people, go out to lunch, go out to dinner. I have to remind myself of that all the time because you get caught up in work.
Totally.
But this is real.
This is so
real connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just fills my cup right up to the brim. So I'm so grateful for you to be here.
Oh.
Okay. So let's take it from the top.
Okay.
Let's start with, I know you and I are both Cincy girls.
Yes.
We both have lived in New York. You've done LA. I've lived in London. And I, have plenty of more places that are still in my heart to be. Yeah. But Cincinnati has my heart and I know Cincinnati has your heart.
Absolutely.
Let's just love on Cincy for a minute.
Let's love on it.
So you were in LA and decided to come back.
Yeah. So I was one of the people at 18 that was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, same.
And I'm never coming back ever. And so, like I said, New York, LA, bounced back and forth. And then we were out on tour. My husband is in a group.
Oh, what group is that?
It's a group called 98 Degrees.
Do you want me to take you through the choreo? I'm just kidding. I'm not that good.
I mean, you might know it. I feel like you do.
I feel
Let's
like
do a little hardest thing.
I don't know if I can do it. I get on the spot.
So will you teach me? I'll teach you.
Okay. I'm ready.
My kids make fun of me.
As they should. That's what kids do. Yeah.
But we settled in LA. That's where we settled. Yeah. So after touring, we had like this amazing group of friends and a tribe of people that had come off the road, and we just kind of hunkered down and we lived out there for about 10 years. And my daughter was 3 and I was newly pregnant with my son. And it's weird. It's like you talk about it all the time and you're like, what if? It was really weird for Drew and I to think that our kids would not have the same relationships with their grandparents that we did.
Totally.
We were both and still are. We have 2 grandmothers, 96.
Do you really?
They're amazing.
Oh, that's so special.
Yeah. Awesome. One of his grandmothers and one of mine.
Are they total pistols?
Oh,
I feel like you have to be to make it to 96.
I can speak for, yes, they both are.
I love
my grandmother is a badass. She's a badass.
Goals.
Yes. Goals. So, we were kind of like in this position where it's like, if we're ever going to do it, we're going to do it now.
Yeah.
And then we kind of found the perfect house and we came back and, but I'm here and I'm kind of like, there's no place like it.
Truly.
I mean, I love to travel.
Same.
New York is near and dear and will always be like where I became an adult. But I love coming back here. And I really think that there's just amazing people here.
It is unbelievable. My favorite thing about Cincinnati, it's hard to put it in order, but up there in the top is that like you can go up to a perfect stranger and be like, this is something I'm thinking about. I don't quite know how to get it done. Do you know how to do it? And they'll be like, you know what? I don't know how to do it, but this person does. And let me put you in touch with
connectors.
This person. Yes.
There's a lot of connectors here.
And everyone is so generous with their gifts and their time and their energy. It's like everyone wants everyone to succeed here. I have goosebumps again. God. Oh, God damn it. Such a waste of time.
Such a waste of time. No, I agree. I think that, there's good things about everywhere.
Truly.
But we were really kind of, besides our friends and our community, we didn't have people like that, neighbors like that.
Yeah.
And as soon as we moved back, it was very apparent, like, oh, okay, this is what I want for my kids too. Yeah.
Yes.
And I wanted them to be able to, when they leave, oh God, I don't want to talk about it. When they leave, I always loved knowing that, right? Yes. Like, didn't you always know that?
Yes.
Like where you were like, I can always go back.
Yes. Cincinnati is like this beautiful boomerang effect. Everyone's like, I'm out. Never mind, I'm back.
It really does. Mm-hmm. And I was the one. I was like, never. Mm-hmm. And then but it's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I also think that, then we moved back and again, nothing was planned, which I think is the best way and is a little bit more organic and in the moment. And so we started Lachey Arts, which is our nonprofit that we've been doing now for, oh my God, almost 13 years.
It's amazing.
Which is the education side of all of this and how it all started. And it started with, this is funny, 2 classes a week, 40-minute classes. Like, laugh at that. That's hysterical. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. Like, this will be like a great way to like give back and like, I don't know, teach some choreography. And then all of a sudden it snowballed.
Yep. That's the universe right there.
It
being
is.
like, just so you know, this is your calling.
This is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And there were bumps along the way.
There
always is.
Tis life.
There's always bumps. I think it's what you make out of it, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you and Drew East Siders, West Siders?
He's College Hill and I am a West Sider.
Through and through.
Through and through.
See, for those who are not in Cincinnati, this is a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's like a Friday Night Lights thing. Like, are you East Side, West Side of Cincinnati? And then it's also, where did you go to high school? Yeah. It's not like when people say, where did you go to school? They don't mean college. They don't mean, where's your PhD from? They don't care. Honestly, how accredited you are, don't care.
I think it's funny. Where did you go to school? And everybody, and I've had people visiting and they're like, are they talking about college? And I'm like, no, girl, they're talking about high school.
Right? Because then it's like, okay, so like, who do we know in common?
Who are your friends?
Yeah. Let's put these pieces together. Yeah. And it's like, and it just connects people so fast.
Yeah,
and
it does.
Maybe it's Cincinnati's efficiency to be like, let's just get real quick about how we're going to
I need to know how we are connected.
Because we all are. That is the other magical, mystical thing about Cincinnati.
Isn't it crazy?
It's bonkers.
Yeah.
It's not that small of a city.
No.
Not even close.
On the daily, I mean, just yesterday, I was like, what? I was like, oh my gosh, we were at this 20 years ago together.
It was high school.
Well, was it?
I don't know. No one check our math. Okay?
Please don't check.
Pinky promise. No one check our math. That's amazing. Okay. And is the rumor, Drew, that you and Drew have known each other since you were itty bitty?
Yeah. I know. Is it weird? Does it make you want to throw up?
A little. From like a bitter divorced person, I'm like, a little bit. No, just kidding.
No,
honestly, I think it's awesome.
I know people are like, oh my God.
No, you're like the exception to the rule. And doesn't it feel good to be the exception?
I think so.
Lean into it.
I think, thanks.
You're welcome.
Wait, the lean into it? Do you know that that's like my new thing right now?
Cheers.
That's really weird that you just said that.
Wow.
The cast would be like, here she goes again. Because I've been saying it.
Can I come to rehearsal and behind you and be like,
100%. Lean into it. And they'll be like, you brought her to say that. And I'll be like, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
No, lean in is great. No, we met when we were 10.
Oh my God. So like
he likes to tell
20
us,
years ago. Everyone embrace my math.
I'm just gonna go with 20. I'm just gonna go with that. So we met then at Performing Arts. He likes to tell the story that when I think we were in 7th grade, I dumped him after like 6 bells, whatever. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I was like, you clearly were getting on my nerves.
Right. Why are you so annoying 7th grade?
So weird. Yeah. And then we started dating. I don't know, like, can you say this more seriously at 16? I mean,
more seriously than middle school? Is that a thing?
I don't even know. And then I went to New York and a lot of people don't know this. He did the Army Reserves.
Oh, I did not know that.
He was a medic. He has medic training, which honestly comes in handy sometimes
I was
when
just
we're in the theater.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Even
I'm like, where is he? Yeah. It's amazing. So we have been with each other ever since. But then I say this all the time in many, many interviews. We are together because we support each other and we each do our own thing.
Yeah.
And I think at a very young age, and I don't know how we knew this, there wasn't like, you can't do that or you can't follow that dream. You have to be over here with me.
Yeah.
So when I say bounce back and forth, there were a lot of times where we weren't together physically.
Yeah.
And then I've never shared this story and I'm going to share it.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
We broke up for a day.
Oh my God. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Wait, that's
and
so
I'm going to
serious.
say this because this is actually kind of funny and talking about labels and all that stuff later.
Yeah.
You know, I was 20, say I was probably 20, 21.
Yeah.
He had just signed record label, Motown.
Yeah.
And they had moved back to New York and I was in LA. And he called me and he said, well, my management, they want us to all be single. And I will say this, like, I look back on that and I'm like, I was upset.
Mm-hmm.
I was very upset.
Yes.
But the fact that I wasn't like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, he did call back the next morning.
Yeah.
From a payphone.
I love it.
And he knows right where it is.
Oh,
Lincoln Center.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm having
payphone. Yeah. Payphone and said, I did a really dumb thing. Yeah. I don't think that we should break up.
Yeah.
And so we were together through all of that madness. And that was madness.
I feel like we could do a whole episode on that madness.
It was a lot, people.
Did you have your daughter in the midst of the madness?
No. So, I guess the height of all of that.
Yeah.
Was
like, what does the height look like? Let's pause there for just, well, we don't have to stay on it, but just to paint the picture.
It was wild. And it was also before social media. Yeah. So I often say that too. I'm like, God.
Yeah. Thank God.
Cause I look at these, younger pop stars now and I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that.
Yeah.
It's hard enough.
I can only imagine.
So there was, we were in the days of like paparazzi in our yard, following us, making up stories. It's not fun. And it's not for the relationships that are not strong. Yeah. I will tell you that.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. It gets a little wild.
When he called you and when management was like, everybody needs to break up, was he the only one in a relationship at the time?
Yes, at the time.
So
yeah. And he was the youngest one. They were like, not me.
Not me.
That must be Drew.
Yeah. So you mean Drew. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
He's like so pumped that he just got a regular. He's like, I have to break up with you.
Yeah. It was weird. But clearly he was smart.
Smart man.
Came right back.
He knew what he had.
He knew.
Mm-hmm. He knew.
No, it was exciting and amazing. And there were moments that weren't so fun too.
Yeah, I can only
imagine. It's a lot of stress, being your early 20s and lots of money and
totally to go from literally like quarters at the payphone to like it's just a whole lifestyle that you weren't prepared for. I can only imagine. Just
very, very fortunate that we aligned with just amazing people and business managers and attorneys and all that kind of stuff that were able to be insightful and guide us at that young age, because I see a lot of people now and I'm like, I wish that you had it's Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I was thinking
we would come back and it was like, who do you think you are?
Right. I love it.
Like our parents were like, and so the dishes need to be done.
I love that.
It wasn't there.
Yep. They're like, did you want Skyline for dinner?
Yeah. No.
And you're like, actually I do.
It really was, it was real.
Yeah.
And so we always had that to kind of, come back to.
I bet that filled your bucket in a way that you weren't even aware of.
Yeah.
Which I can only imagine probably played into that gravitational pull when you're like, I want my kids to have this like, rooted real existence as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati. Truly. It is a magical place.
I think all of that too, now going back to Labelless, is why I'm mama bear, man, with that cast.
Yeah, you are.
Like setting those boundaries, because I know that it can snowball very quickly.
Yeah.
And once it kind of jumps off, it can get a little wild. And I've told them all, I said, you know what? You got to get out of the comments on social media.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
You got to get out of the,
I can't imagine.
And they're like, no, but we have to. And I'm like, no, but some of the best advice we got back in the day, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Was it even Facebook?
No,
I don't know. MySpace?
MySpace. I was like, Minecraft. No, that's my kid's thing. MySpace.
MySpace was like, get out of the comments. And the thing is like, if you're going to believe all the good, then there's that one, it just always takes that one thing.
And it's so loud.
It rocks you.
Yeah. And it's not okay.
It's not okay. Mm-mm. And so it's like at 20, that's why I'm like, how do you guys navigate this?
I truly like
terrifying.
You can only put your blinders on so much. It is so much in your face.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. All right. Now I want to get into Labelless, but before we start, I'm not done talking about how great your career was and is. There are so many things that have like, I'm going to twist it so that you feel a little bit more inclined to talk about it, because I know that you are so humble. But I'm going to make you stop now.
Okay. Okay.
But
Great.
when you think about your trajectory, like the path of your career, what are those experiences that you feel like were like those magical experiences that brought you to this moment?
I love that you used the word magical. My mom and I were talking the other day about this. I think it's grit. It's hard work. It's determination. It's being just so persistent that it's constant. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing right now too.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit of magic.
Totally.
And it's about putting it out there and fully believing in your dream and that it can happen. So like pivotal points, I mean, I think Radio City was pivotal. Like
yes.
I feel like right away it was like I was surrounded by the most incredible artists out of New York City that if you just listen, they'll guide you and you can learn. And just like I say this all the time to young artists, I'm like, just be quiet. Because if you're just quiet and just like soak it all in, you're going to learn so much. So it's like that. It's I don't know. I mean, I really started choreographing professionally when I just decided to be bold one day. I know that I say this all the time too, that like people think like, oh, well, of course she choreographs for 98.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not how it happened.
Yeah.
They actually had another choreographer and they were amazing.
Yeah.
And I went into management and I just said, I want a shot at this.
Awesome.
And they were like, who do you think you are? I mean, I know he was probably like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
But he gave me 3 songs.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. It's like you chip away at one piece at a time. And I think, going into labels, I think often I'm in rooms still with like everything that I've done. And I sit there and I'm like, what am I doing here?
Like stupid labels.
Well, right.
Like, you have literally choreographed for like Missy Elliott, movies with Mariah Carey, like you're a freaking Rockette,
lots of
90
stuff,
degrees,
lots of stuff. And I think that it's like, but I don't know. I feel like each job is different.
Sure.
Right. And you have to kind of like feel out the artist and feel out the person. And, but yes, I mean, I'm confident in what I do, but there's always that moment where you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
How did I get here? And then you have to look back and go, oh my gosh, there's like all these steps. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to totally botch the quote. So let's pretend I get this right, but I'm not going to.
I love it.
It's something like, if you want something to be good, like, it's essentially like go fast. If you want something to be great, go slow.
Oh, yeah.
It's something like that. Can you get it right?
No. Oh, I have to remember it because, and I don't know who like the quote is from, but one of the actors from Hadestown in his Tony speech got up and said that the fastest way to get to where you want to be is to go slow. I think it's something like that. And
that's so good.
Nothing rings more true than Labelless.
Yes.
And I say that all the time. I'm like, patience.
Yes.
It has to happen naturally and organically. And people have to get on board because they believe in it and they want to be there, not because you're forcing them to.
1,000%. And I think that is like that slow, steady, constant push, which, listening to you talk about your career, I can see that you were just like, you were so persistent, but you weren't forceful. You're like, no, I deserve a spot here. Yeah. And you made your way and you continue to chip away at it. And because you have so much faith in this show, as you should, but like you've seen what the other side looks like. Yeah. You see where Labelless fits into this universe. And like, that's why you're like, no, guys, you just have to believe what I believe. It's coming and it's here. But like, I know you have huge dreams for this show. Huge. We're just going to manifest it all right here.
We're going to manifest everything.
I'm way into it.
Yeah. I think you have to have a little bit of fear behind it. If you, right?
Yeah. To keep going
for like the big stuff. I mean, you have to believe in what you're doing wholeheartedly, but at the same time, like at any time, like the bottom could, but I don't know. That's the part that like, obviously you're like, oh my God, every day I'm kind of like, oh God. But then you just keep going. And I think I've always heard that like, if you do have that level of like that underlying fear, that means you're dreaming big enough. Oh, good.
Because if you're just like trotting along, like, I'm doing it and it's going to happen. Like you're not dreaming big enough. Yeah. We don't all want to stay like in
fear is boring. I read that the other day too. And I was like, oh God, I needed that today.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
God, how many, that is the one good thing about social media. I was like, thank you. I needed that. I needed that.
I don't know how you knew, but I really needed that today.
Well, I can see how your career has shaped so much I love how your roots have shaped so much about how you take shape in your career. And then your career has really like brought you back here and how you're making an impact on this city.
Well, okay. I also think it's kind of crazy. I love that it happened this way, that you think New York and LA, that's where you have to be to do all these big things. And I'm like,
Watch me.
watch me.
Yes.
Like,
Cheers.
cheers to that.
Yes.
It's like, watch me do it and build a hit musical that's going to, win Tony Awards from Cincinnati. Watch me do it.
Watch. Hold my beer.
You're watching right now. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
And I love it. And the other thing that really gets me going is when somebody tells me no.
Yes.
Don't tell me no.
Oh.
Don't tell me no if what, like, and just to say it.
Yeah.
Or to say, well, it's not done that way, or that's not the way we do it. And I'm like,
that's my favorite.
Why is it not the way? And why can you not be more open-minded to the fact that, like, maybe there's other avenues to get to that destination?
1,000%.
And I do. I mean, I do. I come up against that a lot.
Ugh.
And let's be honest, like, being a woman.
Ugh. I mean, like, how much time do we have for that?
I mean, that's a real thing.
That is like truly the root of this show, is that I was living my life thinking I was doing everything right, trying to be the perfect wife, the perfect employee, the perfect mother, the perfect everything. And my life still kind of imploded. And I came up for air and I was like, fuck it. Yeah. I'm going to do this my way.
Well, and also life's short.
Life's so short.
So it's like, just do it. I mean,
do it.
As soon as I made that connection too, which was 6.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I went, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. I freaking love that.
Because why not?
Why not? Okay. Can you tell, how is this show born? Like, how did we get here? Tell us your birth story.
I'll tell the birth story. So honestly, I mean, we always say it started with an exercise in the theater class, which it did.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I was in a car ride with Drew. He was driving. I think we were coming from like Pittsburgh or something. Dance competition. Yeah. My least favorite things. I'm going to just say that right now. Because I'm like,
you heard it here. I can't.
Sorry.
I don't have one of those.
Sorry to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I had this idea. Famous last words.
I love it.
And I kept coming back. It's weird. Labelless started with me kind of writing out colors.
Ooh.
And emotions on paper.
Yeah.
And I was kind of connecting them. And what's weird, it's really weird. I found the notes the other day because I keep everything. And I'm like, I want to have like a coffee table book.
Are you like a 3-ring binder girl?
Oh my God. Yeah. And I'm like lists and I have it all and all the blocking written down from every stage of the show.
Yes, you are my
and
people.
I just love it. It's too important.
You're right. The coffee book is the archive. It's happening.
With our photographer too. Oh. Would that not be amazing?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And every stage, she shot every stage for the past 6.5 years.
She sounds amazing.
She's amazing. Anyway, so
sorry.
No. It started with the list. And then we had plans to do another show that spring. This is when we were teaching and it fell through. And I said, well, I do have that other idea. And so it kind of like with an exercise in a theater class, we had students write down how they were not feeling seen or how they felt like they were discriminated against.
Yeah.
And didn't know who said what. Famous last words are that we came home and we put them out on our kitchen counter. Cass makes fun of us because I say the same thing all the time, but it's true. We put them out on the kitchen counter and we cried because we were like, what? Yeah. And we were so out of touch too, right?
Yeah.
We were so out of touch with the fact that like that goes on. Yeah. Like your uncle tells you to get in the kitchen because you're a girl, or that people are actually like putting things in your yard because they're racist. I mean, things that
that's so much effort.
It's a lot of hate.
Hateful.
God. You're going out of your way.
Yes, literally.
So they're
exhausting.
with the cast, or those students, I should say, on board with that first phase. That's where it was born. And so it was students.
Yeah.
And we got to kind of play with it and see what worked and what didn't. And then it snowballed. And then we did the OTR Film Fest. And then people started to just be like, what is this? And then we put it in front of different audiences and ages. And it was emails and text messages and phone calls. And what is this? And then, Drew and I then went, maybe we're kind of onto something here.
Yeah.
And then brought people on board from, and I say LA and New York just because that's where we live.
Totally.
Not because they're more important than the people here.
Yeah. That's your network.
Yeah. We just kind of bounced it off of them, and they were like, oh, this is kind of different and exciting. And so then there was another phase in 21, and then we filmed it, and then we put it in the Sign Museum, a warehouse space, because we thought, oh, let's see what this looks like if it's a little bit more interactive, and then Playhouse, and then a tour, and now back to the Playhouse. We've had it in New York.
Yep.
And so I've learned a lot. And going back to, you have to try things, and they're 100% they're going to be things that don't work.
Yeah.
And I think that that's okay, because you have to pivot and you have to go, okay, well, that thing didn't work. So now we know. Yeah. And now you're going to move on to the other thing.
Is that not a life lesson right there?
And it's, I mean, it really has been constant.
Yeah.
With life and with the show, and just knowing that the core of it really resonates. And so you have to kind of, you know, when you're in this creator role, be open to, you can't hold on to it. It's not personal. Yeah. You have to kind of say,
ooh, that's hard.
That's hard.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'll share this story too. There was multiple songs, to
songs.
Land where we are.
I mean, we're not talking a line in a monologue. We're talking songs.
Songs.
Oh, they're like little itty bitty babies.
Songs.
Yeah.
So you have to know, I mean, a lot of them have been dumped. And so that's not easy either. I mean,
it's a breakup.
It's a break.
You broke up with your breakup.
Yeah. So there was another finale song that was in the show that Drew wrote with one of his best friends, Paul, who's an incredible songwriter, writes for a ton of different artists. And then we heard this other song by our other incredible friend who's a songwriter. And we said, oh no, that's the song.
Yeah.
You know,
Did Drew agree?
Yeah. And he says too, he goes, it was really hard. Well, because it also changes the dynamic. It's like another person was singing it.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, we started this phase, we call it Labelless 8.0.
I love it.
With saying to the cast, like, you're each here because you're deserving of the spot and we want you here. But now decisions have to be made that are for the better of the show. Yeah. And it's nothing personal. Yeah. Because we've had to make those decisions too, where I'm like, you know, Lea, that choreography maybe doesn't work there. Yeah. The song doesn't work there. We need to say this in a different way. And, you know, you're constantly doing that every day, all day. Personalities all over the place.
All over. I can only imagine. Yeah. And like, there's so much that goes on. I just want to geek out on like show production creativity for a second. Like, okay, so you have people writing songs alongside of you. Who does like the monologue writing? Like
Drew. What? So the stories come. So here's the thing. Now it has kind of like, you know, the through line, and we know the topics that we're hitting. Yes. Back in the day, it was kind of like, oh, anything goes. Yeah, you
totally.
Know? And so we know which topics hit. And so those topics have been in the show now for the past 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah. Can we just, for those who haven't seen it yet, run through some of the topics? Because I want to get as many butts in seats.
Oh my
you
gosh.
guys, literally, please go see this show. It is so important for everyone to see. Plus, it is just like, I mean, I leave so moved every single time. I've made my kids come. Like, I mean, it's just really amazing show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Bullying, classism, sexism, self-worth, disability, racism, homophobia, mental health. And then it circles back around with a hopefulness that I believe we all need.
Yes.
And just kind of drives home you walk in my shoes, have some empathy. If you can understand the person next to you a little bit better, it's just going to make the world a better place.
Truly.
And I also really strongly believe in this. It's, you know, I think the quality, I'm so proud of the quality of the production, the caliber of talent that goes into it from the creative team and the cast, everything. But I really believe that you can have this amazing Broadway show and still have people leaving and going, you know what? I'm going to be better.
Yes.
I'm going to be better.
It is so much more beyond entertainment, and it's wildly entertaining. The talent is insane. The songs are amazing. I hold on to every single word of the monologue. I'm like, I truly mean it. I have no bullshit. So like, I really mean it. Yeah.
Thank you.
And just like, it's also the coolest production because like, I mean, the numbers, there's like, I mean, the talent is insane. The whole production, like the way that you guys use the scaffolding, like the dancers are amazing, but for those who haven't seen the show, to like the construct, and like, just tell me when I get this all wrong. Cause here I go.
I think you're going to get it right.
Is like, you know, we start with like these monologues that root the issue. And it is like, I mean, you feel like you are sitting right next to this person. It is so quiet in the theater.
Yeah, very intimate.
It's so intimate. And then it just all of a sudden it pulls back to like, all of a sudden, all these other elements come into it. And like the way that it, and even just like we were saying off camera, like the personal connections of the people connecting on stage. There's like the little hand holding or the passing of the guitar to be like, be brave, put your guitar down and show up.
That's new.
I know it's new. I've seen it 3 times.
I'm so proud of that guitar moment.
Yes.
And that through line that we put in.
She was like,
give me the guitar. It's magical.
It's so magical. So like I just saw the show 6, first of all, obsessed, right? Just so fun. I was like literally in the back of the theater, like, whoa, well, this is so good. But it is such a different, it's so intimate.
I know.
And you truly like, you hang on to every word, but yet you were so entertained at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really special mix.
I think too that, they sit down with Drew. So, people often have this question. They're like, well, if they're the personal stories, does it change with new cast members that come in?
Ooh, good question.
So yeah. And it does a little bit, it's pretty locked in right now and it's working really well.
Yeah. It lands.
So
to be clear,
it's kind of like, ooh, now we're in this stage where it's like, no, these are kind of becoming almost a character, which is a little different than how it started. But we're very open-minded to the fact that like when they want to add a line or it's very important that because the world changes every day.
Yeah.
And if we just get too locked into like, nope, this is what it was, back to that whole thing. This is how it's done.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, but it doesn't need to be. And so by, tweaking a couple lines in something, they then are so connected. Then the audience is so connected.
1,000%.
And it all just works.
And it also goes back to your point about like, go out there and be people.
Yeah.
Don't just be so obsessed with your craft. Go live your life. Yeah. And like, that is the experience that comes so through. And like, I know these people are, from like all over, you've plucked this amazing talent from all over, but I'm like, wait, did that really happen? Like, because they're just so, I'm like, did you write that one? I don't know.
A lot. I mean, I can tell you what I'm thinking right now. I went through it. Oh, Inside Scoop. Yeah, no, all of them.
Yeah.
Right now, those things happened. Yeah. Kiwi, for instance, classism, all of that.
Yeah.
That's their story.
Oh.
So I'm so proud and ecstatic on where this is headed and where it's going. And I don't know. It's just I want everybody to see it because I really think there's nothing like it.
Truly. I am sort of a Broadway junkie. I mean, I put that on pause when I had a million kids in a row, but like,
right.
I mean, truly, I haven't seen anything like it. I love off-Broadway. Like I just,
me too.
Me too. Honestly, it's kind of a favorite, but like, yeah,
it is kind of my favorite too.
But I haven't seen anything like it. And what was also cool for someone who's seen it 3 times is like, yes, like sexism. There are certain things I'm like, oh yeah, that's my issue. That's my label that I get. But then I was listening to the disability one this last time, and like the words that, first of all, so good. And the
Alyssa is incredible.
I was like, can we be best friends too?
You'll be best friends with everybody.
I would like to. I'm just going to come to hang out and be like, lean in.
Lean in.
We're friends.
I'm coming.
Lean in and we're friends. But she was talking about this notion of like, everyone's got their mountain to climb, and hers, she's like, mine is just so obvious because she's in a wheelchair, but everyone's got a mountain to climb. And I was like, that hits so hard because everyone is so focused on their own mountain.
Yeah.
And it's like, we all need to be broader and like to give grace and to like, be empathetic and be like, everyone's got something.
Everyone has something.
And I'm like, to the extent of disability, like something that someone might be really struggling with on the inside, it still feels, I don't know, I could be totally wrong, but it can feel disabling.
Yes. And I think you don't ever know what someone is. I mean, I know we hear that all the time. Like, you don't ever know what someone's going through, but you really don't.
No.
And we try to keep the space. I mean, as you can imagine, the room can get heavy during rehearsal process with something like this.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're workshopping something. And you got to kind of support each other, and people are going to get upset. And there's going to be days that it hits different as a performer. That happens quite a bit. It happened a lot on the road this fall, where they would be so overwhelmed that they would come off stage and cry.
Yeah. God, I can only
imagine.
It's a
lot. I mean, I think the show works too because they are so courageous and brave.
Yes.
To bring that to light.
Yes.
I don't think there's many, again, like I'm beaming, like I'm so proud. I don't think there's many performers that can do that.
No.
And I think it's unique and different. And I think, my mom said the other day, so like, I know you want to do like Broadway and you want to tour and you want to do all these things. And, what is the end all be all? And I said, I don't know if there's like an end all be all necessarily, but you know what I want people to say at the end of the day, hopefully sooner rather than later. I want people to say, oh, you mean like Labelless?
Yes.
That's it right there.
That's so good.
That's what I want.
It's so
Because
good.
I think of moments in theater where you got to constantly learn, right? And grow.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to see Hamilton, the original cast. You talk about mind blowing.
I just like almost can't breathe right now.
No. And I can't really put it into words.
Yeah.
But I sat there and to watch, they did so many new things. And I always go back to like when Andy Blankenbuehler slowed down the choreography. My mind, I know probably most people are like, what is she talking about? My mind was blown. I sat there and I went, he's genius.
Yes. Right. You're like, again, it's not how it's always been done. What is the fresh perspective?
What is that?
Yes.
And so I think leaning in, I keep telling this cast, I'm like, this space is your home.
Yeah.
It's grounding. You're telling a story and the stage has to breathe and we have to be connected and we have to find those moments. And so I think they're doing a really good job of that.
Well, not only are they like, first of all, like half these people are delivering these like insanely long, deep, hard feeling, hard hitting monologues. And then like getting into a number and like with their vocal range all over the sky. I'm like,
the singing is out of control.
Out of control.
It's out of control.
I was like, wait, you do both? And then you're going to do a dance? Like I was like,
and then you're going to be lifted in the air and you're going to spin scaffolding around.
Scaffolding. Yep. But like what I love is that like, yes, you cover such heavy, hard topics, but there's so much good humanity connected in there. Everything from the moments like put down the guitar, I believe in you, or like the little handholds here and there, or even the moments, I know this is probably for safety, but like you're spinning the scaffolding and someone is grabbing the two pieces to hold it together.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Like
I love that you noticed stuff like that.
I'm like, I'm so nerdy.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with you.
I was like, she's got that.
They've got it. Leah had that figured out.
Got it. Probably like a mama 4 thing. I was like, oh, we're spinning. I know this move. We do this at home.
I love it.
But seriously, like you could tell how supportive they are and the level of humanity and all the small moments is what gives that hope through line that continues to build and build and build into that final number that is so good.
That finale number, man. That finale number.
Forget it.
I don't know. Well, they all jump up all the time.
Yep.
It's like
no one can help themselves.
I can't get up quick enough.
Yes, literally.
I'm like, I don't know if I've ever experienced that.
I have goosebumps again. And like, if someone stops clapping along, everyone's like, why'd you stop? I still want to clap.
What's wrong with you?
Oh God. Yeah. We're having a moment.
Yeah.
Like it is unbelievable.
Yes.
It is so freaking amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And I also love the format of like, it's 90 minutes. It's no intermission. It's 90 and
well, that's a 6 musical thing.
Yeah, totally. That's the only other show I think maybe
was
something off Broadway, but like I don't think otherwise I've seen that.
No, it was it's funny because then go back to I don't know what stage it was in. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 22.
Yeah.
And we kept saying, we got to add more. We got to add more. It's got to have an intermission. And we always were like, oh my God, how will we ever put an intermission in this? It has such good flow.
Yes.
And then I went to see 6.
Wait, really? Awesome.
No, really, it's true.
Awesome.
I went to see it in Chicago and one of my friends was sitting with me and I said, I'm sorry, does this? And I literally got so giddy in my seat and I went, oh my God. Oh my God.
It's the permission you needed.
That's what I needed.
Yes. That is another reason why I do this show is so that everyone hears someone else's story because it unlocks the permission that we need to be like, wait, I can do this.
I can do that.
You can do whatever you want. First of all, we all can.
Yeah.
But like sometimes, especially as women, we just need to be like, we cool? We cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to do my thing. Yeah. I love that. I freaking love that.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Isn't that amazing? That show also.
That show is so fun, so entertaining.
Oh,
edge of your seat.
Yes.
So many amazing. I mean, and the world, like we need that.
Mm-hmm.
We need new works.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, come on. Yes. I want to see new stuff all the time.
Same.
And we all need to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends says a great thing all the time. There's enough to go around, people.
I say that all the time.
We don't need to be so territorial and like block people from things.
No.
No.
I can support you and you can support me.
Yes. And I think the same goes for creating, where like, you know, I also coach women how to start and run businesses. And so many women, especially moms, are like, I have this idea. And I'm like, do it. Do it. So I try and teach women how to run it in 20 hours a week or less, because no one wants to like, you know, give up their motherhood and like, and everyone do it in any way, shape, or form.
I think you need to coach me.
Well, I was same girl. We'll figure it out
like
together.
20 hours. Oh my God.
Well, talk about going slow. But you have to be patient. If you really are going to stick to your 20 hours, you really have to be super simple, strategic, and patient. Yeah. But I feel like women, you know, they'll be like, I have this idea, but so many people already do it. Or I want to post this thing on social. I'm like, girl, there's room for everyone.
That's funny. Yeah.
So,
I hear that a lot.
From a creation standpoint too. I'm like, just freaking
do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just lean in.
Lean in.
There it is.
God, I say it all the time.
We should make this a drinking game. We should have been drinking wine. Next time. Are you a stay-at-home mom who has an idea you just can't stop thinking about, but worry that adding something for you will negatively impact your family? Are you a corporate mom who's got a passion for something and is desperate for more freedom and flexibility, or really anything in between? Are you in business? Maybe it's full-time or a part-time, but you're feeling stuck? Are you overwhelmed, or maybe it's exhaustion, or just genuinely don't know what to do next? Well, trust me, I know how you feel. I've been exactly where you are today. I've been the mom drowning in her corporate career. I've been the mom staying home, but secretly feeling like she's meant for something more. And I've been the mom terrified that her business will impact her family too much, which is exactly why I started the Female Founders Academy, because the world needs what you have to offer. Women deserve mentoring, clear, actionable guidance, resources, and a supportive community. And that's what Female Founders Academy is all about. After my 20-year marketing career at everywhere from McCann, New York to Deloitte and some amazing stops in between, I became a consultant and an entrepreneur once I had 4 kids, 4 and under. In the past 10 years, I've built both a nonprofit and an e-commerce business, and now I'm here with Write Your Own Story. The good news is I know exactly what it takes, and I'm here holding my hand out to help the women behind me live the life they're dreaming about. I'm literally obsessed with business, and absolutely nothing would make me happier than helping women live the life they dream about. That's exactly why I created this Keep It Real, inspiring course built to foster community full of very simple, sharp, tested, highly effective steps that get women feeling simplified, organized, confident, and clear on their business. It's a 5-week community course from October 2nd through 30th, meeting just once a week. Normally price is $9.97, but with early enrollment, you can get it for as little as $6.97, and there are only 20 seats available. We have weekly 1.5-hour interactive classes led by me where we walk through material together and work through it. I offer 30-minute one-on-one consulting sessions just with me so we can talk about your business and get your plan just right. You have access to the interactive Female Founders community of women. These women are amazing, and I love seeing you guys support each other. Not only that, but I want to make sure you keep going. We've got quarterly accountability check-ins so that we can all get together and celebrate what's working and what's not and keep each other moving. With this also comes a printable workbook, digital templates, and recorded trainings because, you know, life happens and sometimes you miss a class. You also get early access and discounts to all future Female Founder Academy offers. Don't forget, only a 20 student limit because I want these women to genuinely get to know each other, support each other, and help each other grow. Visit writeyourownstory.co/Female Founders Academy or just click the link in the show notes to reserve your spot and secure your discount. Don't forget, ladies, the world needs what you have to offer, and I am 100% rooting for you. I can't wait to get started. I know this is like asking you to pick a favorite child, so I'm sorry for even asking.
You're going to ask it. Okay.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite moment?
In the show?
Yeah. It can even be moment. It doesn't have to be monologue number. It can
only be one?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
You're like, yes, it's only one.
Yeah. It can be 99. We got time.
Oh my God.
Or like, okay, I'll make it easier on you. What hit you the last time? Because I'm sure something hits you differently every time you watch it.
I will share this. Okay. They're all the numbers are children to me, so I can't pick.
Right.
That's way too hard because I like things for different reasons.
Totally.
I've worked endlessly on each thing to make it look a certain way and feel a certain way. However, the Fight Alone song that comes in the mental health section. So I won't get emotional right now.
Too late. But I'm already emotional. I'm going to start us.
I lost my dad when I was 24. And I just actually recently lost my stepfather. So that's when we talk about all those twists and turns in life, right?
Yes. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Life.
It's life. It's life. It's like my 96-year-old grandmother said. Yeah. It's a roller coaster.
It is.
Just hang on. I always feel like my dad is in the room when I set that one.
Oh, I love that.
I'm not going to cry.
Okay, we're not gonna do it.
But there's something angelic about it. And I'm going to share this too. And Drew talks openly about this, has had his own personal struggles with mental health. And so we wanted to be very clear in that section of the show, two perspectives. The person that's going through it, which is what Micah does, anything worth holding on to, which we gained the rights to that song. And it's a beautiful song written by Scott Allen.
Amazing.
And then wrote an original song called Fight Alone. And what I love about it is Micah cannot see what is going on behind him. So he is placed center stage with his back. He finishes his number and is usually crying because he's such an amazing talent. Phenomenal. And they are behind him doing these beautiful breathy lifts and turns and on the floor, and he can't see any of it. And I think there's just something really
so angelic about it.
There's something angelic, the lighting, the projection, all of it just works together. So I do feel, again, oh God, I get big, but like a special attachment to that one.
Yeah.
Just because it pulls at my heart.
Yeah. God.
And I can see myself in that.
Yeah.
You know, those times where it would get harder with Drew and where I felt like, how can I be there? And a lot of times it's just being there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna, you can't fix it. You can't take it away. But just, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I think it does that in a pretty beautiful way on stage.
Absolutely. It fills so many cups. It fills those who are in the moments of sitting crying to know that, to reminded that they're not alone, and it inspires those to be still and stand and be clear that I'm here.
Yeah.
God, that's so beautiful. Yeah. And I love the juxtaposition of like, it is so like soft and breathy and like these beautiful lifts and like it truly
angelic.
It's angelic.
Yeah.
With like this, like I am hardened into shell on the floor. Yeah. Like I am grounded.
Yeah.
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 You're good. Damn.
Well, I think the thing for me is like, I want to be moved all the time. And so I really try to do one of my favorite things to do. And you can probably catch me in the theater doing it often. A lot of times I'm not looking at them on the stage and I'm looking at the reaction of the audience because I think that's where you really get a good gauge. Am I hitting this? Can I lean in a little bit more? Like and so a lot of my notes to the cast a lot of times are from what I'm seeing from the audience reaction.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like your very own focus group. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Every night.
You're like, get off the comments.
Yes.
I've got the live reactions.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And what I love is that like, you know, everybody in Cincinnati, we all know each other. So like I bopped into show number 3 and there's a full center row of people that are all my parents' friends.
Oh, wow.
Huh? That I was like, I mean, you know, grew up, Cincinnati is traditionally a pretty conservative town.
Yes, it is.
And I was like, hey
guys,
Mrs. Williams, like,
hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah, truly. I was like, my mom says hi. And it was unbelievable, but it just made me so happy. And they were so engaged in the show.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is so important.
It is important. I think too, like everybody needs to know this, that it's not religious or political.
No.
It's just human stories. And I think what's beautiful about what you just said is the fact that everyone can come see this and leave with something.
Yes.
One of those stories, if not many, are going to resonate with you. And I think like it's okay if we agree to disagree on policy and all those things. All this is trying to do is move you to listen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so I love hearing that. There were a lot of people actually at the show this past weekend that had never seen it before. And I was getting a lot of texts from friends that said, oh my God, we're not there, but we got this text from our friend. One was sitting in the car crying for 5 minutes and couldn't process. Ugh. But then I always want to say, you're not going to be completely sad the whole show.
No,
it's joyful.
It is.
It just kind of hits you and you kind of can't put it into words, which I think is the best thing because it's just emotion, true emotion.
It's very cathartic because you get to do a range of motions. And like, they're so, we are all so busy and we're just like, we're mom trotting around this whole world, just like
trotting.
I'm mom trotting.
I'm going to use that word
oh
this
yeah.
week too.
I'm like, why am I trotting?
Mom trot.
I'm just like, I'm late.
I'm going to text you now. You mom trot girl?
I'll be like, hell yes, I am.
You are mom trot.
I'm actually mom sprinting right now. I'm so late for something. I'm just story of my life.
That's my life.
Yes, I'm just a full dead sprint.
Yeah.
But I think to have those moments to not only be like completely entertained, which is like so important for the nervous system to like feel emotions, to connect back with your mind and your body back together, and then to genuinely be entertained and truly enjoy yourself.
Yes.
I promise this isn't a sad show. Like,
I
you
don't
will
think
cry,
it's sad,
but
I
in
think
like
it's
the most
joyful.
beautiful. Yeah, I do too. And it's so hopeful and like, I feel I'm a better person now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. So I like literally everyone, please go see this damn show.
Please come see it.
Yeah. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
So what is your hope? I know there's no, per your mom's combo, there is no top, but like, what's your forward trajectory look like for the show?
I would love to have it back in New York, clearly Broadway, off Broadway.
Yeah.
I would love to sit it down for a couple months there at least.
Yeah.
I want to tour it more all over the country because I think that's where we're going to see the most growth.
Yeah.
I would love to film it.
Yes.
I have ideas for that for movies.
Amazing.
I would love for brands to come on board because I think a lot of brands are saying what we're saying in the show, and we have original music. And so I feel like that's amazing.
Yep.
The West End, when you were talking about London, I'm like, I've had a lot of people say this show would do great in London.
Yes.
And just, I think the possibilities are endless with Labelless.
Yeah.
I think, I also am like Mama Bear again, where I want to do this. And then I want to see all the amazing things like the cast then creates.
Totally.
Because it doesn't just stop with this show.
No.
It's like, I feel like this is just the beginning. And in 10 years, I want to see what my cast creates.
Yeah.
I want to be in their audience.
Totally. I have goosebumps. You are such a mama bear.
I just think there's a ripple effect there.
Yes.
And I think that, again, it's about support. It's about love. We're not hating on each other.
Not
it's
even
not,
close.
I'm not trying to say like, oh, I know all and I'm better and this and that. It's growth.
Oh yeah.
And that's how we all become better humans.
And I feel like that is the impetus of the show. It is truly leave with a ripple effect. You're like, I'm going to do a little better today.
Do a little better.
I'm going to listen a little more today.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be kinder to myself today.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of those moments I was mentioning at the top of the show. Like, I was like, okay, where does hate come from?
I don't know.
And society, like, we got issues, right? Like this stuff runs so many generations deep. It is, not even limited to this country, obviously.
Yeah.
All that aside, like you were saying, when people are putting signs in people's yards, like this hate is like, it's energetic. Like people are taking the time to make a sign to put it in someone's yard when you could just zip it. Like,
well, I have two things to share on that.
Please, yeah.
We did the Pride Parade with Living with Change, and it's such an amazing day. And we turned a corner, and there was a group of people. Yeah, we'll call it the hate group. And I just said to myself, first of all, it's like 100 degrees out here.
Right.
You got in your car to come down here, and luckily it was a small group of people.
Good.
To just yell nasty things at people?
Yeah. Do you feel better?
Like, does that make you feel better?
Are you changing the world?
Oh God, I don't know. It's so hateful.
Ugh.
And then I also think too, like, the sad part of it is when you look back, I just feel like we're dealing with some issues from, back in history that sadly have not gone away and have gotten worse.
Yes.
And, it's actually in this phase of the show when we're coming out of the racism section, which I will say wholeheartedly, I am a white woman. I did not choreograph that. I feel strongly about that. I oversee the creative on that, but I have a dear friend who's part of the creative team, Tracy Swain, who did that because that's not my story to tell.
That's beautiful.
And I feel, for me as a white woman to even think that I understand that is wrong.
Yeah, truly.
So coming out of that number, which is that original song called Hate, and then goes into Heartbeat, which I think is one of my favorite things. And then that breath that they have. Another big change was to go right into Change is Gonna Come, which we have the rights to.
Yes.
But what I did was I set the cast in a rewind.
Yeah.
So they hold their hands and then they pull. And if you watch the show and you come to the show, you'll see that they lead their bodies by their back, and it's like they're going back in time.
Yes.
And I think, I don't know. I think it's sad.
It is sad, and it does run deep. And I think society across the whole gamut has put so many of these falsely identified ideals, beliefs, etc. But this is a theory of one, so everyone feel free to disagree to me. But what hit me watching the show was that what seems to me, my current theory is what gives hate that extra energy, especially nowadays, is that so many people are so hard on themselves that they hate themselves.
I agree.
Or have moments in their day where they hate themselves. We all do.
Yep.
And that it's hard to sit with that, and it has to go somewhere. I mean, you really should just deal with your shit. We all should deal with our shit.
Everybody deal with their shit and stop doing that on others.
Yes. But I think that that's what gives it that energy. That's like, I'm going to get in my car and go down and stand on the corner because I hate myself so much that I just need to let this out on somebody else. It's an assumption, but I don't know. It's a current theory.
But I liken that to people that comment like that too. I would never, I'm just not made like that.
No.
I would never sit down at my computer and just go at it with people just to be mean.
Right.
I'm just like, what are you doing? And so you're right. I think a lot of people are just really unhappy. And they're unhappy with themselves. And so they're projecting that onto others.
I say that to my kids all the time if they get bullied at school, and I'm like, listen, what they did is not acceptable, but let's take a minute and think about what they must be going through to even behave that way. Right. Again, I got your back. This is not acceptable, but like, let's just think that through for a second and what that must be like.
I think it's crazy too, like the bullying section in the show, which is the first one out of the gate. You know, kids obviously on the daily, social media on the daily.
Yeah.
You know, I've had people in the audience come up to me after the show, adults, and say it happens in their workplace.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I'm like, and that threw me.
Oh,
I said, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, corporate world.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's not okay. It truly is not okay.
Wild.
Yes. The things that I saw women especially do to each other in the corporate world, because, you know, we're all just like fighting to get up the ladder. And I'm like, wait, girls, we can do better. Yeah. Everybody, like, just let's all hold hands and climb together.
Yeah. Stop hating on each other.
It's exhausting.
It is.
But I think that is one of like the beautiful things about the show is that it really truly addresses not just the label and the concept of like, let's peel all these back and just be who we are. Oh, that's another thing that I want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Is that like, I am finding either in these conversations on the couch, I was saying to you off camera, like the impetus behind the show and the notion of write your own story is like, my life fell apart and I'm coming up there and I'm like, fuck it, I'm writing my own story. But then I'm like, if someone were to ask me, especially like I'm 3 years into writing my own story and like about 8 months into doing the show, it was like, how do you write your own story? I would honestly say, I don't know yet. But I know I'm writing it. I'm writing it in pencil and I'm writing it boldly and bravely, but I'm going for it. But I don't know, like, what are those, if I'm going to be Brene Brown, I was like, what are those fundamental principles that you need to do to write your own story? I'm not there yet.
Right.
But I'm noticing in conversations on this couch or conversations with girlfriends that so many people right now are asking this question, who am I? I don't know if it's that we're in our 30s and 40s and coming up for air after having babies and being like, and you know, we all evolve and change, like, you know, I don't know, but that's hard. And that hit me in the show because there are moments in the show where someone's like, who am I?
Who am I?
And there were so many people defining who they were outside of the label that they, you know, have been cast upon. And I'm like, damn, this is just like, you know, like you have these like magic, lean in, all these things that keep brewing.
No, I get
Power
it.
of the pivot and who am I are conversations that women keep having that I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. People are starting to, like, to your point, to be like, why do I have to do it this way? Wait, you say I'm this. Well, who am I?
Who am I?
Give me a minute. I want to figure this out for myself.
Right.
I don't know. It's pretty awesome.
Well, I kind of feel like that too. I'm like, I don't know who.
I don't know who I am.
I mean, listen,
I'm getting
constantly.
Yeah.
I think at my core, I know who I am.
Yeah.
You know, my morals and that moral compass, where my heart lies.
Your soul speaks pretty loud and clear.
No.
Truly, it's good.
You.
No, it's
Thank
like,
you.
it's like truly a gift that you can listen to it.
But there's confusing days. There are days where you feel like you're completely upside down.
Yeah. I feel like that at some point every single day.
every
Every
single
single
day. And I think people have to just be more honest with that. And I think here we go again with the social media. I think it's good and bad, right?
Truly.
It connects us and then it also can connect us in terrible ways. And I think that a lot of people like to put out there this insane life of like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. The highlight reel.
Or it's so annoying.
I know. Cause it makes, I mean, you can't help but be like,
and we all do it.
We all do it.
We all do it.
Yeah.
We all look at pictures and we go, oh, I don't know. Should we do that before we post it? Of course.
Yes.
Like I would be lying if I said I didn't do that, but
yes,
I don't know. Drew's take on social media.
Yeah. I bet he's not a fan.
He's like, I hate it.
Yeah.
Put it down. And I'm like, I mean, luckily we have, you know, wonderful social media person that runs Labelless and Lachey Arts. And thank God.
Yeah.
But you still have to okay it all.
Yeah, you do. And it's like, it is a gift in that it is a megaphone for sure. Yeah. And like, you have such beautiful things to share and like in that sense, but it almost like when I think about the people commenting, like, I don't know if you feel this way or if this is just Betsy's head, but like Venmo, I'm like, that's free money. This is monopoly money. I was like, who wants my Venmo? Like, sure, I'll pay you. Like, this isn't real money.
Yeah,
and I feel like when people comment, it feels like it doesn't come with repercussion.
No, because they're hiding behind their screen.
Right. Like I'm hiding behind my Venmo, being like, there you go. Sure,
it's pretend money.
Right. I'll pay for the teacher gift. Not a problem. Venmo.
Oh my God, that is where I use it the most.
Absolutely. Teacher gifts, right? And you're like, and you feel like you didn't spend any money because it came from an app. It's all magical money.
It's magical money.
And like, there's no repercussion because I don't watch it connect to my bank account, even though I very much so know that it does. But again, everyone wants to be in charge of their finances clearly. But I feel like sometimes people feel that way when they comment on social. It is such a connector, but it is also like you have to, if you are going to be out there and be bold and connect, you still have to be a real person.
Yeah.
Just like I need to spend my money like a big girl.
You need to spend your money like a big girl.
Yeah. Betsy math it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Pretty good at it. I have a whole section in my business courses around girl math.
Oh,
but legit. Like, I'm like, no, I run my business on girl math because I need to be like high level, simple, long game. Yeah. The way that I like save money is like for like life goals. I'm like, I really want to replace my Amazon habit this month. And that's a big number. So
Amazon can get out of control.
It can. Anyway, I tangent us. But like, I think again, going back to social, it is a microphone, but there's so much.
You got to be careful.
You got to be careful.
You got to pull back every once in a while.
So that actually is like just putting on my marketing hat and being in her for a sec. When I think about you pitching these shows and like, you're also choreographing, Drew's writing, you guys are putting these songs together. You're living it every day. You're being a mom, you're running Lachey Arts. Like,
oh yeah. We forgot the studio side of it is, that takes a lot of time,
which is also like a nonprofit and putting art back into this community, which is like a whole nother episode. Yeah. Please come back. Because that's super important to talk about.
It is.
It's really amazing.
It is.
But like, how are you, do you have people for like, do you have people for that? But like, you know, you have a social media person to help you. Like, who is helping you pitch this to producers? Who is helping you? Or are you just like,
we've gotten better.
Yeah.
We have a management team. We have an agent now that came on board. I'm just speaking specifically for Labelless.
Yeah.
And then Drew has his own team of people. We have an assistant that has come on board.
Good.
I don't know what I would do if we didn't
or how
have
you
her.
did without.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Marketing team, which is incredible.
Yes.
Publicist.
Good.
But I have to be honest.
Yes.
There are so many moving parts that even with all of those people, it's wild.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And I catch myself many times going, well, today I was sitting on the floor of my closet.
Oh, I love that. Do you cry there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's in the kitchen. It's fine.
I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
cry in the kitchen
listen,
floor, but
I don't have a problem. Like when it hits me, I'm like, it's happening.
It's happening.
Wasn't crying today. It was more of a just, I needed to sit on the ground and just be grounded for a minute.
Yes.
I had rattled off like, no joke, 15 emails as soon as I got up. I slept great last night.
Good.
Feeling really good about the opening. But then it's like, as stuff builds, there's more work to do.
There's so much to do.
And when you're the producer, the creator, director, choreographer, you know, you want to make sure that what you're doing when you're creating a brand is on point. If your name is behind it, you want to be really careful with it. So, and Drew and I both are very much, we're kind of control freaks.
It's your baby.
But it's our baby. And I feel like, I mean, it's how we parent our kids.
Yes.
You know, we were really extremely hands-on. And so I feel like we need to be,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know.
I feel like you're
I'm
in
like,
the
I gotta
teenager
delegate a
stage
little bit.
where like, you know, like you're all controlling and then all of a sudden it's like, this kid is bigger than, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll give you a little slack and let
it's
you.
hard to let loose a little bit.
I can only imagine. It's
hard.
Truly. And how do you, so women, we're all not so great at taking care of ourselves.
God, I've been really bad the past 2 weeks.
I love you for saying that though, because we have these moments.
I've been bad.
Yeah. And then that is why your body is like, we're going to sit on the floor now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to plug for Contrast Studios. I cold plunged.
No wonder you slept so well last night.
Oh my God.
Do you think that was it?
100%. I got in that infrared sauna.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hard.
Really?
The last 2 minutes. It was like 22 minutes or something we stayed in there. I said, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yes.
And then Chris was like, now when you get out, you got to take 8 deep breaths and then just get in there.
Into the cold?
Yes.
Shut up. You have to go right away?
Girl, have you done it?
No, Jess was like, do it. And I was like, maybe.
You got to do it.
Okay, I can do it.
And I was a scaredy. I was a scaredy cat.
I can do hard things.
And but I'm going to tell you the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's like, you're not going to make it.
No.
Yeah.
But I was like, I need to do this,
Yeah.
especially during the next couple weeks of the show.
Yeah.
I try to be as present as I can. You know, in the ups and downs of life, you got to kind of pull yourself out of it at times. That's if I had any advice, and who am I to give advice? But
the person who does a lot, everyone has a right to give advice. We all have good perspective. Get in there.
The only advice that I would give, and that is just like, try to pull yourself out of that crazy moment and just be present.
Yep.
So that you can just be like, okay, sit on the floor of your closet.
Yep. Seriously, you're like,
take some deep breaths and then be like, girl, you gotta get up.
Gotta get up.
Because you gotta blow your hair out.
Yep. Gotta keep going.
Like, you gotta keep going.
Right.
And you gotta put your clothes on.
Yes.
I mean, like today, I really need to do some laundry.
Oh.
You know, there's things like that.
If you saw my bedroom, it's like, that is all the projects sprinkled around. Yes. Yeah. Hidden in the closet, sprinkled around the perimeter.
Home office is like that. Because it's a disaster.
I'm like, okay.
It's bad.
And I walk in there. And then sometimes I'll turn around and close the door and I'm like, just too soon.
It's too much.
Too much. Just I know.
Close that up.
But I love that. It's like, you know, we all are like, you're like, okay, I got to do this. I got to get dressed. I got to blow out my hair. I have these notes for the show. I just rattled off 15 emails. And then you're like, wait, right now I'm getting ready for a podcast. So that's what I'm going to do. And then when that's done, I'm going to go do the next thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's hard, but that simplicity of it, simple is, that's the words that I keep saying over your lean in is mine is keep it simple. Oh, sorry. That must be an alarm. I have to go pick a kid up or something. No, don't mind me.
Me like this. There's magical music in here.
That was totally planned. Yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
It's like, oh,
I know. Oh, you know what?
Sign.
I need to register for my kids for swim team, but also it's a sign.
Okay.
It's a sign.
It's a sign totally too. It's a magical sign.
But please don't let me forget to register my kids for swim team.
Oh God.
Summer is, if you saw my alarms, I have 3,000 alarms that, you know, are all turned off because I haven't cleared them out, but it's like the calendar doesn't even work.
No.
Because I'm like, oh, did another calendar ding? Doesn't even count. It's just, Betsy, literally do not forget.
My calendar though, like like everyone, tons of stuff.
Yes.
And then I like just get through the one day and then I'm on the next day and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that between 11 and 12, I have to do this for 10 minutes.
It's insane.
I'll admit it. I have forgotten to pick up my son a couple times.
You're like, I'm so sorry. It was mom trotting somewhere else.
Yeah. He's literally like this. Hey guys, you want to pick me up?
And you're like, I do.
And I'm like, I love you.
So much.
Yesterday, what'd you eat? Noodles.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there are definitely moments where I turn around, I'm like, did I feed them?
No. Yeah. I said that. I said, we didn't. I said to Drew last night as a joke, I said, we should feed our children tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
tomorrow. I think they're okay today to live on snacks.
Yes. My snack game is strong.
Well, mine is too. And Drew said, it's summer.
Yeah. So
he's
true.
14.
Yeah. Right.
So you gotta let some stuff go too.
Yes, we do. That's another good piece of advice. You gotta let some stuff go.
You gotta let it go. Yes. You can't do everything.
No.
And again, going back to that Instagram thing and quit acting like you're doing everything.
Right.
Who is doing all that?
Literally no one. If they are, they're on the basement floor grounding themselves way more.
Laying,
literally just a puddle. Oh my God. Okay. So I could ask you 7,000 more questions about Labelless, but I promise I'm going to wrap this up soon. Okay. But I want to shift because I feel like we've done this natural shift to like we are both very much girls.
Mhm.
And like, I have a couple of questions, but one of my favorite ones that I want to start with, and I think you're going to like, is what are some of the like twists and turns in your life? Again, for the like notion of write your own story and the power of the pivot that either you've made happen or that happened to you that you're like, damn, that was formative, or that was magic, or.
Going back to 24 when I lost my dad, that was pivotal. It was, this is life.
Yeah.
And some bad shit's going to happen along the way.
Yeah.
And your boat is going to be rocked. Well, I think that's when I learned that choreography was very therapeutic for me because I left, well, we had a tour to do.
Yeah.
And so I went up to New York outside of the city with a friend and just kind of hunkered down for like a month.
Yeah.
And worked on stuff. And I think it was good for me to kind of be away. So I think that was a turning point in just like, sometimes you have to just keep moving. I think that was big. I think sitting out on my patio years ago in LA and saying, what do you think about if we had like a nonprofit arts camp?
Oh,
Which, you know, like things like that. Like, and then we moved back and said like, let's actually try and do this. And then clearly without the Lachey Arts summer camp and then teaching, Labelless would have never been born.
Yeah.
So those are pivotal points.
Yeah.
And then I think another big one is obviously being a mother.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like that.
Truly.
When your child is, you know, put in your arms and you're like, wow, I'm in charge of this.
You're like, wait, me?
And you know, I was like, am I going to be all right? So I learned so much from them.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Aren't they?
They're truly amazing.
Best gig in the world.
And I mean, hopefully they feel this way. I mean, I feel like we're all so close.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I love being there for everything with that. And I think, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things, but another big pivotal thing is like when you decide to take that step and say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be scared out of my mind, but I'm going to do this and I'm going to move forward with Labelless or any project for that matter.
Yeah.
And be a little bit more bold. I think that changes everything.
Yeah. And it's like when you think about 18-year-old Lea who moved to New York and was like, this is my trajectory. And like,
it's so different.
Oh, it's so different.
It's really different.
I was talking to my friend Emily on the couch. She was also like a corporate girly and both of us were like, everybody get out. But I mean, that's just like you don't like dance competitions. I'm like,
oh my God, I'm gonna rip my face off.
And I'm like, girls, just leave corporate. Like do your thing. Yeah. But all that said, I think, you know, we had all committed to this path. I'm like, I went to school for this and and then I moved to New York and I'm like doing Super Bowl ads. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm the one approving it in Times Square in the snow, like as a little itty bitty baby in New York. But I'm like, looks good.
It's great.
Looks good. Yeah. But and then all of a sudden life pivots and you're like, that was so meant to be. It was hard and it's still like to embrace those pivots that happen. And it sucks when you don't see it coming, you know, like your dad or, you know, all these things, but it turns out it unlocks like a level of depth in people and grit and tenacity. And I don't know, just openness too, where those moments where you're like, life really isn't in my control.
I think that's a good lesson. And I think we always want to control it. And then shaken up and you're like, oh, I really thought I was in control that whole time. I had it. I thought that I knew exactly how this week was going to go. Yeah. And it doesn't. Yeah. And then you're like, whoa. But, and I think along the way, like with the show too, I'll tell you the terrifying thing was, we were in the Sign Museum in the warehouse space and we lost all power.
Oh my God. Mid-show?
And I know that seems so like, oh my God, oh boo, you lost power. But it was a really big night for us and we had a lot of important people in the audience. And, and I just, but I learned that night that you can get through it. Yeah. And then it all will be okay because you'll just keep going.
You just keep going.
And we've all seen so much. And, you know, the cast was incredible. And they I had to go out and address the crowd. You talk about horrible. You had to go out and say, thanks so much, but we can't do the show. Yeah. And the incredible thing was the cast rally behind me. And they just said, we got this.
Oh
like, God. You got this. We got this. We're here with you. We're going to come out with you.
Yeah. Oh.
So I think
in that, many goosebumps again.
In that, it's like you learn like sound, power,
right?
All those things. You're going to be all right.
It's all going to be okay.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had someone on the show say something, not directly related to that, but similarly, like you make a decision and like some of us can like, do I include this number? Do I include this line? Do I do this? And it's like, I mean, I can only imagine the hyper ness of like how many decisions you have to make.
Yep.
But she was like, make a decision and make the best of that. And it's like basically the concept of like, do the next right thing.
Yep.
And then do the next right thing.
Yep.
But like the power goes out. You're like, oh shit, I got to put on my big girl pants and go out there and be like, I'm sorry.
I was terrified.
Totally. I have such a pit in my stomach thinking about that for you.
I was on the side of the stage and I just went, oh my God, please. Like, we'll get power back. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. And then it got to be 20 minutes. And one of our producers was like, you got to go out there.
Yeah.
And someone has to go out there is what she said. And I said, it has to be me because Drew at the time was pulling cable in from like the outside. Talk about hands-on.
Right.
With all of that.
Hustling.
And I said, well, it has to be me.
Yeah.
Who else, you know?
Right. Right.
And then you're like, well, if you're going to lead and you're going to do all these things, then you got to do the tough stuff too.
Yeah.
And that isn't so fun.
No.
But you pivot.
You do.
And you learn from it.
Yep.
And then you grow stronger.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And the fact that like the cast is like, again, back to the moment where he's having the moment on the floor and the cast and everyone's behind him. But like everyone literally physically came and stood behind you and was like, we got this.
Yeah.
Oh, do you see the beauty of what you are building?
I do see the beauty.
Okay,
I do.
It's literally amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple more questions. What do you wish that women talked more openly about? I feel like we're getting better at saying all the truths out loud, but like, what are some, especially like in the concept of the show or anything?
Just like, I think we can let go of like that perfection that we think we all need to have.
Yeah.
Right. And just be more real.
Yes.
In our day to day with each other.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to say like, I had a really crappy morning, this, and this. And then you move on, but like be open to say that.
Yeah.
I think we need to let go of holding it all in to feel like I'm in control and I want to make myself look a certain way.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think perfection in my research, because I'm Brene Brown, just kidding.
I mean, you are.
Thank you so much.
I think you are.
Like, I also feel like so much of the root of perfection is people find it as like a form of safety.
Yeah.
They're like, if I have the perfect face or the perfect body, if I show up perfectly, like I will be safe. But like you are safe in your own, you are safe. You are like, you are in charge of keeping yourself safe. You are safe.
I'll be honest right now. The other day, Cass was kind of making fun of me. I was like, I'm gonna do these little videos. I guess like, what do you call it? Like vlogging?
Oh yeah, you were vlogging.
And I was like, I'm kind of good at it. And they were like making fun of me. I was going backstage like, guys, when I get my, stipend for doing this. But I did it. I shot something and I went, oh my God, what are you looking like?
I know. It's
hard. And then I went, oh, who cares?
Literally.
Like it's, who cares how the lighting looks on your face?
I know. It's so hard.
God, I just think about that. Like if I'm doing that, I'm like, what is my 18-year-old daughter doing?
So true. So true. Or I'll have moments where like I will find myself, I'm picking on myself out loud and my kids are like, no, mom. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah,
I needed to hear that because like, if I hear them pick on themselves, I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
But you don't realize.
Yeah.
But I think the conversations of being like, I'm having a shitty morning. I messed up X, Y, and Z. I forgot to sign my kids up for swim, et cetera. Like that. Cause whenever that happens to anybody else, you feel like you're the only one.
Right.
You're literally not the only one.
Right.
Everyone's having a shitty morning.
Yes.
Or everyone else screwed something up. Like we're all in it together.
Yep.
And I find that like in my walks with friends or whatever, the more I can just, to your point, be like, bleh. Like,
get it out.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. People are like, me too.
Yes.
And they look so relieved.
Yes.
To be like, I'm not alone.
Well, because I think we do that. I mean, we do that as moms all the time where we're like, oh, this is what our morning's supposed to look like and drop off. And then we put a cute outfit on and then we go to the gym and then we come back and then we have coffee. And I'm like, whose morning is like that?
I'm lucky to get a bra on.
No. Yes.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you. you. I know I'm not the only one.
Half the time, you don't want to see what the waist down is looking like in the car.
In the car. Absolutely
you
not.
do not want to know.
No.
And I also just like, I like to think, well, when we're not like crazy that I'm organized.
Yeah, totally.
But nothing is perfect.
No.
People are forgetting things. They're forgetting lunches. List goes on and on.
On and on.
Yeah.
Everybody's in it together.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So I feel like, it is so clear what your impact with this show is. What are you hoping in terms of ripple effect for the next generation?
To be bold.
I love that.
Lean in, like we were saying.
Lean in.
Be bold, be brave, lean in, listen. I mean, I have a whole list.
I love this. Keep going.
More compassionate. Hopefully this next generation is going to figure out a way to have more empathy.
Yeah.
Because I think we're kind of messing that up right now a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a little bit, a lot.
A lot of it.
I want them to feel empowered.
Yeah. To make it just to be different. And I love that so much. And I think one thing, as much as our generation, I totally agree, is really missing the mark on empathy. I'm hoping, and what I'm seeing as an undercurrent is like, we are now becoming more aware. Maybe it's now that we're all mothers but it's like, I think everyone is more intentional about what am I doing and its impact on the next generation.
I hope so.
Yeah. And maybe that's all of us being like, wait, what happened to us
from,
the generation before.
Right,
and, I don't know. But I think that's, again, I guess it probably does go back to the empathy piece, but to realize like who you are and how you show up every day has such an effect on everyone around you and generations to come. And it's important.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am hopeful
Me too.
that it can change. I'm not that person that is, pessimist and like, I don't ever change. But I hope that we though can empower them, and support them. Because I do hear a lot of people say a lot, well, they're complaining. And I'm like, complaining?
Right. Just being honest.
They're just being honest about what their day is like.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that they're going through that we never had to do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't want to bring the whole thing down, but think about that.
Yeah.
As kids, like what they do in school and the drills.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that.
Yes.
That should never be normal.
No.
Ever.
It literally makes my blood shoot right through the roof that's normal.
My son, I think he was probably 7 or 8 at the time. We were in the office at home and he looked at a pair of scissors and said out loud, oh, that would be good if anything happened in the school. That would be a good,
defense. Yeah.
And I went,
right.
And so,
right. It's just
bold for the next generation, bold for us too. We need to start getting in there and making some change too. We can't just leave it to them.
No.
Right?
No, that would be lazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's harsh, but I'm like,
no,
we have responsibility.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Are you like me and taking at least an hour to plan your meals every week and then to grocery shop on top, only to find out that I throw away half of it because I didn't have it in me to season and chop and prep night after night? It's so embarrassing and I feel awful about it. Are you also like me and worry about if any of the things I buy are healthy enough for me and the family? Well, let me tell you about Hungry Root. Hungry Root is my partner for healthy living. Hungry Root helps me save time, save money. I shop sustainably, and I eat what makes me feel my absolute best. Their mission is to make it easier for more people to eat healthy and feel great every day. Some of my very favorite aspects of Hungry Root are healthy meals in 10 minutes or less. I mean it. No chopping, no seasoning ever. They do it all for you. Honestly, full stop. This is my very, very favorite thing. Every meal is so easy to put together. Often they have steamer bags for vegetables and all sorts of great microwave options too. They also give you healthy snacks and pantry supplies my kids and I both love. They're whole, trusted ingredients, which makes me feel like a great mom because I actually know that I'm putting good things in the pantry and in the fridge. Personalized recommendations based on your goals. Mine is heart healthy, and it ships to me on my schedule. The best part is also less food waste. No more throwing food out each week, which feels amazing. All you have to do is take their super simple quiz and share your preferences, goals, must-haves, and they'll recommend a plan for you and just fill your fridge with food you love. You could be like me and let them surprise you with meals each week, or you can go in and adjust each week before they actually send it to you. And let me tell you, they love your feedback. This is the one thing I actually do. I'll go in there and I'll tell them to send me more of a certain meal or less of a certain snack because we didn't really care for it. One simple click and your order is adjusted. Hungry Root is so much more than a meal kit. They send full-size groceries, which is so much better than pre-portioned package you get with your meal kits. Honestly, couldn't be happier. Use your code WriteYourOwnStory40 for 40% off your first delivery plus a free gift for life. Use code WriteYourOwnStory40 or just click the link in the show notes for 40% off your first delivery plus a free gift for life. 40% off is huge. The free gift for life promotion is a choice of free cookie dough for life, free veggies for life, or free protein for life. For life means the length of your subscription. Honestly, guys, I love Hungry Root so much. It saves my butt every single week, and I could not recommend it enough. Don't forget, use the code WriteYourOwnStory40 or just click the link in the show notes. And I am so grateful for all of the things that you are doing for this great city, but for this show that you're creating that will absolutely, and already has, but absolutely will have impact well beyond. I can't wait for it to get to every platform that you've discussed and then some. It truly, like, I could not love it more.
Thank you.
And like when you were saying off camera, I'm like, do you see it? I'm like, I see it. I feel it. I see it.
The magic bubble underneath.
I feel the bubble. We're floating.
It's bubbling.
We're floating.
Yeah, there's just something in the air. It's connected. It feels right. And the energy is spot on. And on top of it, obviously the world needs it, but I do feel like there's something. And let me get it in front of more people. Let me change, the way people can maybe just open their heart a little bit more. Yeah. Just give me that chance. Yeah. Right. I mean, I'm going to get that chance. I'm not saying please, it's going to happen.
It is happening.
And it is happening.
It's happening.
And it's happening.
It's happening.
And it is such an exciting place to be in. Because if you go back to the what if, should I do this? And then I look back, I'm like, I did it.
Yeah, you did.
I'm walking in it right now.
You're doing it. Like the quote that I'm going to get wrong again. It's like, you got to go slow to do great things. Nailed it.
You nailed that.
I know.
You nailed
Do you want to give me some more lines? Because clearly I'm good at this.
Well, this is a good one. And he said this in that speech too. The bottom of one mount, or wait, the top of, no, wait, oh God, I'm going to get it wrong. Right. The bottom of one is the top of the next.
Yeah, I think so.
Or top of the other way.
Top
of, I suck at this.
Same. If everyone would like to follow our quote page,
we nailed it every time.
We're going to do a whole episode just on quotes.
The top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. Keep going.
That's going.
God, see, and it's so true because then, well, if I can get the freaking quote right, but if you do that, you have to remember that there's always a climb. I do that often, and Drew's like, relax.
I know, you're like, but
we're into the next stage now, and now it gets bigger.
But you are slow and steady and relentless, which is how great things happen. And I know it is literally a mom trot. It's and like the ducks with the feet and the swimming, but like it's happening. So Cincinnati, do what we do best.
Come on, Cincinnati.
It's like we are all helpers, and we're all like, what do you need? I can help you with that. If I don't know someone, this person can help you with that. Lea is here. I'm here being like, give this show the best chance it has. First of all, it doesn't need it. It's happening, but get your butt in a seat, right? Get your eyeballs on it. Talk about it. Spread the word. Yes.
Go to labellessmusical.com, get your tickets. That's where all of the information is for the show. So if we, I know we're going to be touring it in the spring of 2025 again, if not sooner dates, because I feel like there's some other stuff going on now too. CincyPlay.com is where you get tickets for the Playhouse. Follow us on social.
Please.
Like our stuff. Labelless Musical, Lachey Arts. All of that stuff helps. And I know we did a whole thing about social media, but
we also said it's a great amplifier.
It's great.
Let's use it for good.
And it really will help get the message out. And I feel like born and bred here in Cincinnati, I'm so proud. I want the city behind it. I want the city to be proud about it. Yeah, come see the show.
It makes me so proud to be from here, truly. And I'm so glad that you guys brought your talent back here and are pouring it into the community. This community deserves it. It is such a great place full of really great people. And also, guys, like, think about, not only are you going to be entertained, to be moved, and to grow as a person, but like there are also, let's just like talk shop here for a second. There are really important people coming to see this show. We want the theater full. full. So do
Come
your
on,
part.
Cincinnati. Do your thing.
Do your thing.
Right?
Do what we do.
Do it.
Do what we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
So everyone go, tell me the website again.
Labellessmusical.com.
Get your
You can get your
tickets.
tickets. There's ticket links there, or you can go directly to cincyplay.com. Follow us on social media, Labelless Musical or Lachey Arts.
Yep.
They all go hand in hand. Yeah. Come out, see it, spread the word, talk about it. I mean, get on social media and just post. That
Yes.
does wonders for us.
It truly does. And that makes you, as we were saying, be an active part of change.
Yes.
Being a part of this conversation is being an active part of change. If so many people are like, when am I ever, how can I make an impact? This literally is how you can make an impact. Talk about it on social, put your butt in a seat, tell your friends about it, bring your kids to it. So I bought this sweatshirt for Hayden and I to share. I was like, this sweatshirt.
I love it. I love that you share it.
The sweatshirt right here. The sweatshirt right here. And so I came home and he had a friend over. And so I bopped into Hayden's room and Hayden was like, how was the show? I was like, it was amazing. And his friend was like, oh, what show did you see? I was like, Labelless. And he was like, what's that about? And Hayden just rattled it off. And Hayden, it's been at least a year since he hadn't seen it. And he was, like barely 12 at the time.
Wow.
And was like, oh, it's all about sort of the labels that people put on each other and like all the challenges. And he like rattled off different sections of the show. And he was like, it's amazing. And I was like,
oh,
I know. I was like,
I love that.
He's an old soul, deep thinker.
Oh, I love that.
He's just like truly a special, special kid.
Yeah.
But I love them all. I do. It's just whoever's nicest to me that day is my favorite.
That's your favorite.
That's my favorite. Whoever's being nicest is my favorite.
I agree.
Yeah. That's the only way I can decide.
Yeah.
But my point is that it's an amazing conversation for kids.
Yeah.
It's an amazing conversation. Bring your parents. Like I was saying, a whole generation of people.
All the generations.
It hits with all of them. It lands.
Yep.
So do your thing. Be a part of change.
thing.
Talk about it.
Lean in.
Lean in.
Lean in, people.
To the magic.
I'm taking all these quotes back with me, but I am going to work on the quotes I was
I have some practicing to do. Renee Brown would be so mad. She'd be so disappointed.
She'd be like, so you failed.
Yeah. She maybe she would be like, you don't have to be perfect. At least you tried. That's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to end this.
Let's end it like that.
Oh, all right. Well, seriously, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing this with me. This has truly been the highlight of my day. My cup runneth over. Truly.
Well, I love being here.
Good. I'm so glad.
Easy breezy.
All right, you guys, everyone, for all these clips that are floating around on social, share the episodes. There's so many important things that we got to cover. I'm so grateful for your vulnerability. This is so important for people to talk about. So let's be a part of change and let's amplify these voices.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
We're best friends now.
Literally. We're going to get matching sweatshirts.
It's been documented.
Yeah. Maybe we should get like Taylor Swift bracelets.
We can totally do that.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, we're going to workshop this after.
Okay.
Next episode. We'll let everyone know where we came out. All right, you guys. This has truly been a blast. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Well, that's the end of this episode, but promise me, you won't stop here with whatever it is you're feeling or dreaming about. I hope you leave today feeling empowered to live life just as you see fit. If this podcast was helpful to you, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. I genuinely just want to help women live the life they dream about. So if this type of content tracks with you, subscribe to this podcast or visit our website, writeyourownsstory.co, to download digital courses or to grab a journal and a mug to just dream in and dream with. It's your life, lady. Do you. And just remember, I'm rooting for you and you've totally got this.